And we are back. Black and a Half, episode number 250.
250.
Yeah, I'm Silas Lindenstein.
I'm Samantha Rund.
And this is Black and a Half, the longest running
The
longest running comedy podcast in Seattle. Probably. This is a great episode. We have a special guest on this time. Mr. Paul Boyd, director and writer of the new film Scared to Death. It's a Scottish, no, it's not a Scottish, it's a horror comedy distributed by Atlas Distribution Company, and it comes out on March 13th. It's a fun film. I got to check it out, and some fun actors in it. We get to talk to the director about what made him come up with the idea and chat with him. I mean, it was actually, I had to meet with him a separate time, and then Samantha watched the interview and shared her thoughts, and I shared my thoughts, and it jarred some conversation. Yeah.
I think it's a good episode, you guys. I recommend that you stay tuned.
We made some winning moves. We let me just say this. If you listen to this, checkmate. Okay? Checkmate.
Got game?
Game, set, match.
Game, set, match.
I think that would be fun to start using at times other than tennis. Just, you finish, you win something, you win in a poker game, you go game, set, match. Just do it. Really confusing to people. Anyway.
Yeah. That'd be kind of like a fun brand for like matches. Like actual matches. Right?
I imagine the match market is dwindled a bit.
I imagine as well, because you could also, like, cigarettes, no, not good for you. But if you had a brand of cigarettes called Game, you had the ashtray as set, and the match is match.
Well, good thing that you're marketing now to the cigarette companies. That's good.
Yeah, good thing.
Give them some ideas.
Yeah.
I just don't know when I use a match very much. Like I need a lighter sometimes for my stove. Because the thing's not sparking. But that's the only time I use a lighter.
Well, I guess for candles, but I usually use the lighter and instead of matches as well.
And they're not, but candles are just, now we kind of know that they're not good for you. So
lots of things aren't good for you. Live a little. You know, I mean, I mean, with certain things, right? I don't have candles on all of the time or as many hours as I used to, but I still do have candles, and like, you want it to be in a ventilated area.
Yeah. I forget. There's something about, I don't know if it causes asthma or something. There's something that they just don't.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to have them in my house anymore. We're not supposed to do them very much.
Well, yeah.
We do them, but not very. Oh, because there's so many allergies.
Yeah.
That she could. My kid or my wife is going to be allergic to one of the
toxins or whatever, right? I mean, it's not good to have like burning stuff and smelling the fumes of it. It smells so delicious.
Funny. Used to burn incense. I don't know. Never even thought of that being bad for you, but apparently it is. Anyway, we got to get to this interview.
You know what's not bad for you though? This podcast.
Yeah, that's right. Fat free.
Game, set, match.
This is a fat for, there's gluten free. Everything. Listening with your ears or watching with your eyes, there is no health dangers in this. RKO approved. Look, RKO? No, that's Randy Orton's finishing move. I said the wrong one. Meant to say RFK approved.
No, why? But no, because
RKO is that's a move.
Our show is actually good for you. We want to have an approval.
That's true.
All
right, folks, sit back, relax, open your hearts, open your ear holes, and listen to episode number 250 of Black and a Half, our interview with Paul Boyd.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the longest running comedy podcast in Seattle, probably. Yes, this is Black and a Half, hosted by Silas Lindenstein and Samantha Rund.
It's called Black and a Half, and
longest running comedy podcast in Seattle, so I'm always excited to get talented comedic writers, filmmakers, and such. A question for you. Now, a lot of times directors and writers will be one of the characters in there. Are you Grok? Was that?
I wish I was the Grog, man. Honestly, I wish it was the Grog. I'm more Jasper, I would say, as a filmmaker. But the interesting thing about the Grog, he's also the executive producer and the financer of the movie.
Oh, really? Okay.
And Kurt Dimer, who plays the Grog, is the Grog. Like when I cast him in the movie, I was like, wear your own clothes, but that's him being him. Like that's not, that is really what he's like. And he's such a big teddy bear, but looks so tough, but he's just this big sweetheart that I kind of wrote the character around that. And I also made him the butt of the joke, but also kind of the hero, and gave him the tagline of "This reminds me of a movie," which allowed me to set up his history at the end of the film with all the posters, and because he represents the joy of filmmaking. Like he's made 200 movies, but he still loves it. He hasn't lost his passion for the business. Yeah, so it was really dealing with all the different aspects of the film team that I know so well. They say write about what you know.
Yeah,
I mean, I know that. And the comedy comes from just the irony in the situation rather than jokes. It's just these people set up against one another.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what was the impetus for the film? Was it the desire to make a horror or a comedy, or like what?
It was a horror. I bought a house and was told the day before I moved in, but from the owner, that it was haunted. And this was originally owned by Chaplin, 1911. It was for sale by him, not through a realtor. We moved in. I never saw anything, but my wife and kids did. They would see shit. And I got up in the middle of the night, take a pee, look in the mirror, be like, I scared myself shitless, thinking something. But I never did. And, this whole theory of believing is seeing rather than seeing is believing came out of that experience. And knowing, wanting to make, living in oblivion, I wanted to make a kind of film about filmmakers that's kind of a little absurd and ridiculous. And I thought putting those two things together would be great. Filmmakers trying to make a movie set in a haunted house. But I mean, every trope is in the book.
Yeah.
Haunted house, the seance, it's all in there because it's a kind of love letter. It's a love letter to horror movies, but wrapped within this kind of satirical, absurdist jacket.
So, are you a believer then in the ghosts?
I've never seen a ghost. I grew up in Scotland where ghosts and witches and warlocks are present. I mean, that's our national animal is a unicorn. I mean, think about that.
Yeah.
So, I grew up and we were doing Ouija boards when we were little kids. I mean, we would cut out all the numbers and put them on the sidewalk. And I was talking about what made us even do that as kids. So I think the supernatural is ingrained into the belief system, but I'm kind of agnostic. But in the same aspect of UFOs, I've never seen one. Do I believe? Absolutely. Interdimensionality, I believe in that. Like, look at dogs. They can see what we can't see. Yeah. Our eyes filter out most of what we can't see. And that right there is interesting because it's like, what is really outside that we just, and playing into the science of the brain is what really sees, which is true, not the eyes. And that gets mentioned in the film, the whole science behind that. I'm also making another film about sleep paralysis and what that represents. So I'm into the science of it and tried to put a little bit of that into Scared to Death.
So you're doing another film. Like how many films are you working on at a time?
There's one in post, one in pre, and usually one shooting. So we're right now finishing. We're releasing Scared to Death. We're finishing Relapse, which is a film I shot last May. Kurt's in that film too, which is about a young girl, a musician that uploads her nervous breakdown onto social media, and there's a whole intervention. And it's really intense. There's music in it. We do a cover of In the Air Tonight. I mean, it's kind of like a Billie Eilish type young girl.
Okay.
And there's so we did that, and we're finishing sound, and that's going into festival. And then we're shooting another film at the beginning of summer called The Prostitute, which Kurt is starring in, which is about a serial killer that dresses up in a silicone mask and goes out and kills Johns. And it's done in the style of Man Bites Dog. It's like a fake documentary. I've always wanted to do an American or European British take on Man Bites Dog. You remember that movie from the early 90s?
It's very familiar. Like, it's on the tip of my
1990
visual.
in Belgium. It came out kind of the same time as all those movies but anyway, it's brilliant. It's black and white 16mm film. This group of filmmakers following a serial killer around, and he's talking to camera about the process and what he does. Ours is a little different. It's about a filmmaker that discovers the serial killer and is covertly filming, and then they kind of team up. But it's all done in the style of a documentary, one camera from one person's point of view. So we're doing that this summer, and that's yeah. So I mean, these are little independent movies. That to me, I just want to make a film a year, until we get to a place where I can take some of my bigger projects and spend more time. But
so are you and Kurt partnered now? Like, as
yeah, we're definitely creative partners. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I've written like 4 scripts for him in the last few years. We're doing an animated TV show called BBG, with which is a kind of satirical adult horror cartoon, and we have a television show. I mean, we get so much shit going on, but everything has to kind of fall in line.
How do you find a partner like that? Was this just a random meeting? Was it from a casting? Like, it
was actually through a rock and roll manager called Andy Gould, who I've known for years. And Andy was his manager, taking care of his music. But Andy also produced movies for Rob Zombie. So when he first started working with Kurt, he brought me in to make some videos for him. I did like a triptych 3 music video thing. And I did it on the basis of, look, if he wants to help and be part of the film, then it was a trade-off. So I got to meet him and talk about it. And he just instantly wanted to do it, because I rewrote the character for the Grog. And then, within talking about it and doing it, it was a year of us just putting it together, developing it. And because I already had Lynn and Bill, they were already attached regardless of the money. So, but you can't make a film without any money, even if you have talent.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, you can. It's time, money, idea, and you only need 2. So if you don't have any money, you need a shitload of time.
Yeah.
And you need the idea. And this film literally was 10 years. I made 3 other movies. Yeah, it took 10 years minimum from when we first tried trying to make it to actually making it.
How long does it how long of that was just writing it to getting it to the point of we're going to shoot this?
Well, the script was written, but it got rewritten over those 10 years, right? So, and then when it became a comedy, with Lynn, when the roles of Lynn and Bill shifted, and I knew I needed Lynn in a comedy, then it went through more rewrites. There's probably like 50 drafts. No joke.
Wow.
But when it evolved into comedy, that all changed. And the way I work, there's 3 scripts. There's the one you write, the one you shoot, and the one you end up with. And, and that's my process. I want to improvise with actors. I want them to bring more to the table than just my words on a page.
Mm-hmm.
I always say to them, look, as long as you say what I'm trying to say it in your own way. Say it in the way the character says it. Not, a Nazi over dialogue. Oh, you gotta be like this. I'm very freeform, and I like people to bring their ideas to the table, especially the actors. It's important.
As an actor, that I always love it when a director is. You sound like an actor's director, and I always like that.
Yeah, I know I could never act. I mean, that's the thing. If you respect the medium, right, and you've worked. I mean, I've been a filmmaker since I was 13. So in all aspects of actors, from wannabe actors, models, people that have never acted, fully experienced act. I've worked with a gamut, and I believe anyone can do it. Like with Kurt in this movie, he'd only been in a couple of small things before his own movie, but it was just empowering him to know that he can do it by just being himself, and modeling him to take him out of a place of fear, but in a place of a fuck it. And I worked with Dave Stewart from the Eurythmics for years, and he was like this. He was like, I bring an artist in the studio, they go, oh wait, that doesn't sound right. I'm not sure if I want to do that. He goes, doesn't matter. We won't fucking release it. We won't put it out. He said, just doing it is the process of, and I kind of believe that too. So in this film, when it all kind of changed shape, I had to let go and kind of be like, okay, just trust the process, trust my own instincts with regards to comedy, because I'm not a comedy writer. I mean, my second film is a stoner comedy, but it's the same thing. It's more situational. It's not jokes. That's what I
Right.
want to evolve to. Like we have this Western we want to do where we want to cast all comedians and do like the proper, with a couple of big comedians. So hopefully we'll get to that place where you get to work with the talent that can just write the jokes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In
Oh
the
yeah.
film. That's a dream of mine. I love watching that process and behind the scenes of making of comedies where they're doing scenes over and over and they're just changing the word.
Mhm.
God, I'd be in a situation like that with some proper comedians.
I look forward to seeing what you do with the Western. I'll tell you that. Now, Paul, the first time I have somebody on a show, I have 7 questions that I ask everybody. They're the Black and a Half world famous 7 questions. So I'm going to shoot these out to you. Okay.
Yeah.
Number 1, what are you most nerdy about? And that doesn't mean sci-fi. It's that thing that you're just really into, no more maybe than you should about. What would you say you're most nerdy about?
God, I think it would have to be, the cosmos, and Carl Sagan's like my hero. We are a way for the cosmos to know itself. It's like, the whole concept of are we living in a simulation? Like, what is real? What, and Scared to Death dips into that a little about what you see, and that fascinating. The science of that, observation, consciousness, that shit. I'm a full-on nerd about that. And talk to my friends, they're just like, oh yeah. I'm like, well, we're in a ball of rock flying fucking through space at
Yeah.
100,000 miles an hour. Oh yeah, okay. How was your lunch? I mean, I obsess on it. That's why, I Heart Huckabees is one of my favorite movies. Mark Wahlberg in that film where he's having the existential crisis
Yeah.
about life. I'm writing a film called Micro Macro that's all about that. It's about someone just coming to terms with what it really is and just pissing everybody off, you know. That's kind of important because that's kind of what I do. I mean, I don't piss people off, but I just I'm so fascinated by it. I can't put it down and just be like, oh yeah, life is what it is. You know what I mean? I'm just, and that's why I think big things are coming up in the next year. With disclosure. I mean, maybe it's all going to be a big, con, but I'm telling you, in the next couple of years, I think there's going to be some big revelations.
Okay.
I'm excited. I'm really excited about that.
Okay. Number 2, what's something that you love to eat?
I would say, I mean, I grew up in Scotland, so I love sweets and candy, but I can't eat them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So a nice piece of filet mignon with some eggs. That's it. That's all I need. Some protein.
A fried egg on it or poached? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
Salt and pepper.
I did not.
Steak
I
and
did
eggs.
not know you put poached eggs on a. Wait,
Right.
as a side or on top of it?
No, I'll have it as a side, but
As a side.
I'll put it on top of the toast, and
Okay.
then I'll take a slice of the steak with the egg, and that's it.
Okay. Okay. That sounds pretty good.
Protein. And I love Thai food. Oh my God. I live in Thai town in Hollywood, and it's just, I'm in heaven. There's like 50 restaurants ever eating. Just get the best Thai food for $10.
All right. What is something that you love to drink?
Something like coffee,
Coffee. Okay.
like David Lynch style, 20 cups a day.
Yeah.
No
I'm in
joke.
Seattle, so that's everyone around
It's
me.
kind of a problem, you know what I mean? But I mean, it's not, I make it at home. I mean, I see that as a problem as I guess in other people's eyes, but for me, I'm just, I don't really drink a lot of booze.
Yeah.
I don't smoke ciggies. I smoke a lot of ganja. I think, the ganja and the coffee, they just cancel each other out. Yeah.
Well, what kind of music do you love?
Well, my number one is Prince. You know what I mean? Period. Bottom line. But I grew up as a teddy boy. It was Elvis and 50s rock and roll and doo wop, and then of course Bowie.
Okay.
Glam rock. But Prince is my number one. I saw him a bunch of times in the 80s, and have never seen anything like that before. And I've worked with some of the greatest musicians in the world. Biggest and but yeah, him. Freddie Mercury. I cried when Freddie Mercury died too, man. There's just and the way Prince died, with the fentanyl and the pills and all that,
Yeah.
get the surgery, just tragic.
Diamonds and Pearls will always be
Good, I love that.
have a special. It was a special time in my life when that came
I
out.
believe that. That was a good one.
What do you love to create?
Well, apart from stories, because I believe storytelling is a kind of lost art, and I mean sitting around telling stories too, is I'm a collagist. I make a lot of collage art, cut and paste, glue, sellotape,
Huh.
sketchbook. Yeah, that's my passion.
Collages.
Hmm.
Love it. My daughter just started working on those. She just started, like she's 8. No, yes. No, she's 10. She's 10. I
Wow,
should know this. But she just started working on collages on her wall. She got a
that's
kit
awesome.
on it.
Encourage
Yeah.
that. It's great because you get to rip through magazines and newspaper, stuff that doesn't, and everything's on the web now. I go to old
Yeah.
bookstores and pull stuff up. A buck for an old medical reference book, chop that up. It's great fun and it's tactile. Kids now are doing everything on their iPads and their phones, but doing it literally, we have a physical object. I have sketchbooks going back for years, and treated music videos the same way, kind of, to learn film. Was just try that, try this, try that, and that's kind of the same with my movies. They're all very different. I don't want to get into a groove of just telling one kind of thing. I want to experiment. That's a big part of my film course was in London at St. Martin's, was fine art film. It wasn't USC. They gave us a clear roll of celluloid and said, go make a film. And I'm like, there's no emotion on it.
Yeah.
They're like, man, figure it out. We were like crushing berries and drawing on the film and then taking that and putting it through a projector and going, oh, okay. And learning all about constructivist film. It was weird because I was already doing it when I was little, but getting that education and beginning to understand the power of image and symbolism and the meaning, it just changed everything for me and made me realize I want to do my own films. But that took a long time. A big famous producer once told me, he goes, oh, you can do it your way. You can write and direct your own movies. Because it's just going to take a lot longer. Because
Yeah.
movies in Hollywood are put together by producers. They pick the
Mhm.
director, pick the actor. It's not writer, director, actor. And that's why for me, if I end up staying indie my whole life and I'm perfectly happy with that. As long as I can retain the IP and retain
Yeah.
control of the overall, it doesn't matter if we stay, small and indie.
Two more questions. What's a game you love to play?
Chess.
Oh God, I've been Duolingoing chess for the last. I'm on 87 days straight now.
Wow.
I find my brother's so good at it. He's an A&R with United Artists, and his
Wow.
passion is chess,
Yeah.
and he's so good. And so it's like I gotta catch up to him
Yeah.
a little bit.
My
So I've been
first
playing.
film, Vicious Circle, is about chess. It's chess, and there's a sketchbook in the film. The sketchbook comes to life. It's all chess. Every character represents a different chess piece. It's called Vicious Circle.
Okay.
It's a Hispanic Latino drama. We made it in 2006, and we're hopefully going to be re-releasing that. It got signed
Okay.
to
Check
Maya.
that out.
It got a deal with Maya releasing, and then they closed like 6 months later.
Okay.
But
Okay.
yeah,
Last
chess.
question before I get kicked out of here.
Yep.
In 100 years, when someone reads your biography, what do you want to be remembered for?
Oh my God. Well, it's not going to be directing the music videos for Shania Twain.
Okay.
Which is what everyone goes, oh, you did the videos for Shania. No, hopefully we just remember for telling good stories. That's it, man. If I can make, this is film 5. If I can just make, different films, a collection of films that just somehow communicate the human spirit, you know what I mean? That's what it's about, really. It's, we'll see. I mean, who knows? And I can't live for that. You know what I mean? Look at Van Gogh.
Yeah.
He made the most incredible art and died. No one knew. I mean, died a pauper.
Yeah.
So for me, it's a really beautiful observation you just made, because that's the truth about our art, is that it could be still here in 100 years.
Mhm.
People could be watching scared to death.
Yeah.
Think about think about the library of films by then.
Yeah.
I have 8 million horror movies. Which one do I pick? The robot turns around and says, "What? Scared to death?"
Yeah.
Yeah. The future is. I think we're alive at a great time, man. With technology and everything and AI, it's going to really change the shape of our industry, and I'm all for it, man. I'm excited to see what happens.
Good. Hey, I could talk to you for an hour, but I guess I don't have that much time. So, thank you, Paul,
Of
for
course.
coming on. Your new film, Scared to Death. It's hitting. Where are we opening live nationwide?
Yeah,
Right,
AMC. Yeah.
AMC.
I
Okay.
think we're in 150 screens nationwide, and in Los Angeles, we're at AMC Burbank, which is great. It's the biggest horror theater in the States. So, yeah, hopefully all the ducks will line up and people will go see it.
Oh, I hope so too. All right. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks, Silas. Appreciate it, man.
Okay. And that was Paul Boyd, Scottish filmmaker. Samantha, I don't know. This is totally. You have little. I at least have little prejudices that don't show up until unexpected moments. I cannot tell you how surprised I was to discover his all-time favorite artist was Prince.
Really?
I just don't think of it as a Scottish guy.
And a bagpipe artist?
Maybe. I don't know. And that's the thing is like, well, what did I expect him to be into? I don't know. I guess, I don't know. But for some reason, like, I'm hearing a Scottish accent and I don't think like, oh, this guy clearly loves the soul man of soul. Like, right? Like, I don't know. That was like,
that's funny.
And then I hear it and I'm like, well, of course he did because Prince was amazing. Like, why am I so prejudiced like that? Why would I think that? I don't know.
Probably based off of personal history, right? I mean, our minds associate certain things for a reason. Pattern recognition is not always correct.
Yeah.
But for me,
that's what it is.
That's his Scottish accent. I was just like, yes, please just talk for forever. It's such a wonderful accent. Oh my goodness.
I just heard something today about how we are as humans, one of our special abilities is pattern recognition. And like even more than say a computer should be able to recognize it, but like we recognize patterns in ways that we don't realize. Mm-hmm. Like consciously, like we subconsciously pick up on patterns and previous behaviors. I've heard some similar things like that.
Yeah.
But I think that's true. I think because a lot of the people I know who are not Scottish, but very proud of their Scottish heritage.
Yeah.
They are not, the music they choose to listen to is not what I would consider the hippest music. And
I don't know very many people who are Scottish. Clearly, because I'm not just there listening to them right now. That's openly.
They're in the closet about it, or they don't identify as Scottish. I was trying to go with a pronoun joke, but
that will get you canceled.
It will. So
I know, and you wouldn't even mean it anyway. You would be like innocently canceled for being a huge ally who made a bad joke. Silas, your comment.
Yeah, that happens. The movie's called Scared to Death that he's in. So it's like a horror comedy. You're not a big horror fan, right?
What gave that away? Oh my gosh.
But how do you feel about the horror comedy? Is that a separate thing, or is it because it's going to involve blood that it's going to be like out?
Ugh. I mean,
funny squirting of blood.
Like, ugh. I mean, I can watch some vampire movies depending on how much blood is involved, I guess. I mean, I have seen Game of Thrones, so I suppose if the plot is good enough, I can watch it. But if it's gory just to be gory, I'm not. I don't know. But hearing about it and, that it is a horror comedy and the thought process behind it and the filmmaking process and this and that, I actually am quite interested. Where normally I wouldn't be. I have actually acted in 2 horror shorts.
Yeah.
But I wasn't in the very scary parts. So
right. Which are they? I don't even know if in film it's actually scary, because when you're shooting it, right? It's like the cameras are there and you're you're trying to figure out the practicality of it all. It's like
I don't know. I don't want anybody to like not hire me based off of what I'm about to say, but you know what? You would get a very, very real looking actor. I still remember in high school, my theater teacher, he was showing us stage makeup, and for Halloween, he was showing how, I don't know if this is how they still do it, but back then, this is how they did stage makeup if somebody was like cutting a wrist or something. Like I can't even talk about he put down some like metal thing under it or whatever, and put the putty in the blood or whatever. And he was showing how, and I just was like, oh, and they're like, Samantha, you just saw what I'm like, what is, oh man.
You get into it, right? Like you get into that.
It's just like blood, right like away. Just hearing about it or thinking about it. Like, here's the thing. I can have ketchup, no problem. But if I'm pretending that ketchup is blood for something, it's probably not going to be a good situation.
Right.
Yeah. Unless if I was the character, like if I was Lady M or something where it was like.
Oh yeah, you did Lady M.
Yeah, I mean.
Wasn't your hand bloody in that? Did you not?
Well, you were imagining. I didn't actually have. I don't think I ever had actual bloody hands.
But isn't there a scene where she goes off and then comes back, and his hands are all bloody, right?
I can't remember how we did it now. It was such a long time ago that I don't remember if we actually put any makeup on, like any stuff on there, or if it was just like imagining. See, I don't remember the play well enough to tell you that part.
You blocked out all horror elements of it.
Yes, I sure did.
I end up dealing with horror way more than I ever thought I would. And it just blows my mind how practical it all is. Like in doing it, I think that does show me how some of the magic is of film.
Yeah.
Is like, oh, we made it look scary-ish or maybe scary. And just to think of how stupid it was when we were doing it, or just like there's one where I was supposed to bleed out of my mouth, right? And so we had to get it in and hold it while we're like, okay, roll. And you just get to the point like, can we just go? Because I'm like, I can't talk or do anything until the scene. And you also know, at our minimal budget levels, we have one shot at this because I only have the one shirt. So if this gets bloody, we're done.
It's the Alexander Hamilton of screenshots. You're not gonna miss your shot.
Not taking away.
I need to stop giving references that aren't totally fresh in my head. Yeah.
Not throwing away my one shot.
Exactly. With your one shirt and your blood packet, your pretend blood packet in your mouth.
Yeah. Because, I mean, for those of you that don't do film, usually they will try to buy multiples of outfits, even if you're not doing horror. If you're doing anything that might involve like physical work of getting it dirty, they will try to have like two of the exact same shirt if it's within financial means, right? Like The Office, I've heard them talk about like they get a prop and they have like 6 of them because they need to make sure that they're like, because they can't afford for it.
Dwight doesn't use his nunchucks on them or something.
Right. If something breaks or whatever, they need to have it there to go right away. So they always have multiples of whatever prop it is they make a bunch of. So.
Oh, wow. Well, I mean, I think the other thing too with that is also like, I know he was talking about superstition, or you were asking, do you believe if things are haunted? Part of it is just, my sort of lack of desire to like delve into that realm at all. Like I will seriously be like, depending on what you talk about, get me some holy water. I will just start spraying. I just don't mess around with some of that stuff, which is a little bit funny considering some of the plays that I've been in. But I think it's a little bit different when I'm doing the play or something. I don't know.
But I can see that. That makes sense to me. Like, though this is my biased, I guess, of being of a performer, is how I can separate the art of it from my tangible life. So, like, I don't know. It's like how I watch professional wrestling. I'm fine with it, but a UFC fight where it's real, I'm like, no. No, I can't. I can't handle it. No, turn it off. I like it to be theatrical. Let's
right.
be in the world. Yeah, we're there, but not like.
It's still weird that I went to a UFC fight and I actually was shouting.
Weird.
I know that was many, many years ago.
You did what? You fought?
I was actually shouting for the person that I wanted to win. I got really, really into it. I was really hyped up on too many red vines. And clearly it was not my idea to go. It was the person I was seeing at the time.
What did you yell? Like, get him.
Well,
go.
there was no, I was chanting the person's name because they had gotten me into the stories like behind you. That was my gateway into caring, was like, listen to this person's life story and look at how they train and their mindset and this and that. And I was like, oh wow.
So you're chanting like Rocky.
It was Sledgehammer. Okay, that was the person, and I was chanting Sledgehammer.
You were shouting Sledgehammer.
That was the fighter's like name or like his.
What was the cadence? Was it Sledgehammer?
This was a long time ago. Okay. It's pretty foggy. All I know,
I just feel like if I yelled the word Sledgehammer, I would remember what. It's such a weird thing to be yelling.
One would think. I vaguely remember.
Sledgehammer.
Was not like that.
Sledgehammer.
But the thing that kind of sucked is I don't think he landed the punch I was hoping he would. And then later I was thinking about it and I'm like, oh, it's a good thing he didn't. Because if he did, that guy would have been like seriously injured.
You wanted him to drop the hammer?
I guess. You know what? If I'm not remembering this correctly, anybody who's listening, clearly I've probably edited this in my do you ever wonder about that?
You got bloodlust.
You
got bloodlust.
I just wanted that. I really wanted that person to win. And I didn't care for the other fighter, bless his heart.
Did you know their story, though? Did you know the other fighter's story?
Yeah. That's part of why I was voting for the other one so much. I just really wanted them to have a win. This is based on the knowledge I knew at the time, you guys. So if you're listening, and if I was wildly off and come out on either of them,
you find out that Sledgehammer is this awful.
That might be out there. Just know that was not any knowledge that
We're gonna have to research Sledgehammer now and find out what he has done. That's hilarious.
Oh my gosh. Oh, Silas. Okay, this is make me get more on topic if necessary, because I'm not talking about the interview enough. But during the 100 or the world famous 100 questions, oh my gosh, yeah, we'll do 100 questions during the world famous questions. Chess. How did I not know that you love to play chess?
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm not good at it now, but I used to be. But I mean, that was just in comparison to like, when you're playing as a kid and not many other people play. I should learn the rules. And then... You
don't know the rules?
I just know the basic rules, like pawn this, that goes that way. I don't know the plays and everything.
I will say, it's what inspired me to start playing. My brother plays, and so that, that got me like for a week playing online, like chess.com or whatever site he was using, right? I think I forget if I played him once. Anyways, he's really good. He plays all the time, or he used to at least. And I had shown my daughter Sierra how to play before, and she feigned some interest in it, but we never really played much. I always felt like occasionally I would find someone who played and we're like, oh, hey, let's play, and maybe we would, but there's a chess club at my kid's elementary school now, run by a black man, and
You're the one who runs it?
The one who runs it is a black man.
I'm teasing. I was like, you're the one. That's an interesting way of telling me that you now run a chess club at your kid's school.
No, and I was just like, I just feel like it's one of those things growing up. I never knew black people that liked sci-fi or played games like chess. Like, I just never knew that. So, like, it's not in my pattern recognition. So, I've been excited. I've been trying to get my kids to want to go and play it with him. And because, also, there's like 4 black parents at Cyree, right? And he's one of them. So, it's like, that's an instant bonding, right? For one thing. And so they've been playing, so I hear the kids talking about it a bunch up there, and then I discovered that like 3 months ago, I discovered Duolingo also now has a chess option.
I heard you say that, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, like
Is
you can,
Duolingo
and I'd use that
expensive?
for Spanish, huh?
How much is Duolingo?
Well, there's a free version and then there's a paid
Oh.
version. So you could do the free version and it runs ads sometimes, right? So
I could play chess on
or
Duolingo.
yeah, you can only or you need to, like, you have to build up so much energy to get to play more,
Mhm.
or like it refills over the night.
Mm.
Or if you're like correct and you win something, you get more energy so you can play longer. Like that's for all the languages, and also teaches math, I think, as well. And anyway, I was like, oh, let me try this out, and I forgot that I bought the actual pass. So
Yeah.
for Spanish, like 7 months ago or something, I was trying to learn some Spanish, so I was like, oh, so I can do all of these here.
Just kind of for fun, or do you?
Yeah, I always feel
it's
stupid that I
more
took French in high school instead of Spanish.
I did too. Don't feel
You
stupid.
took French? Well, I mean, okay, but here's the thing. I was in Boston, near Boston, so I was like, well, I'm near French Canada.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was like, well, French is it's a romantic language.
Yeah.
And I want to be a romantic guy.
Yeah.
And then I moved to California, where Spanish would have been really good to have known.
Well, yeah.
Would have helped me a lot.
There's some
and then I keep running into situations where Spanish would have been really good for me to know. French has been very few times, and so I've never practiced it. However, like Gretchen took French.
Yeah.
You took French. Like, I meet all these people who took French in my life. So somewhere there's the line I was meant to do it. I don't know. So anyway, so I started playing, and now I think I hit 92 days today of continuous play. Like, I've played at least once a day.
Oh man, you're going to be really hard for me to beat then, because isn't it terrible that I was really happy to hear you play chess also because I thought it's going to be fun to win.
It doesn't mean I'm good.
Yeah, I'm sure you are. It's it's just I love to win at games so much, and I'm not usually here's the thing. With my friends, I'm so much nicer about it. With my family, I am like a savage. I'm like, I won, in your face, let's play again. Or like if they win once, it's like, nope, you're not leaving on a win. I'm gonna I probably just had to assert myself a lot as the youngest child. I think probably I got a lot of joy out of winning something. Perhaps.
Reasonable.
But
well, it's like there's a level I can't get past because it scores you. Like, it has a rating system, right, that you build up to. And I'll start getting into the 800s, which I thought was really good until I looked up and found out that was like beginner.
Well, I'm so curious. If I have time to go on that, I'm totally going to check it
out. I'll get up there and then I'm like, oh, I beat someone at this higher level. And then I just start losing and I can't, and then I'm back down into the 7, then lower and lower. And then I'm coming back up, because also there's people who know tricks and they try to knock you out fast.
That's what I was wondering about, teaching the rules, certain plays and things like that.
See, I don't know what the plays are to actually do, but I've had them happen against me. So now I know, if I see one opening move, I know what to do to stop that opening move. I know they're going for the 2 move kill.
Yeah.
They know that. And I'm like, okay, so I know how to stop those. So it's all about learning what those, but then there's other ways to do it and figuring out how do I do that?
That's got to be really good for your brain. I don't know.
So.
I haven't looked up what the studies are, but I would.
Learning new things. Learning things is just always good for you. So it's very good brain health.
Depending on what the thing is.
But then I showed Finn wanted to play real chess, and so we played. And look, I didn't go hardcore on him, but I was told to not let him win.
Yeah.
I was told I should play him. The chess teacher.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Said you don't just let him win. They got to learn.
Gosh,
I beat him, and he cries.
Oh, see, that's hard. I don't know. Like I didn't like let my nieces win because I wouldn't play as hard on them, right? But I wouldn't like just let them win. But my kid, I'm like, ooh, I don't know. That
Like,
that will
what
be
I didn't do
hard.
was like, now that I know a couple of these
Better
tricks,
win.
I'm like, oh, I could probably just do this and he won't know.
Hmm.
And I'll just beat him real fast. So I let it go and I didn't take some opportunities. I'm like, oh, well, let me just go over here. I want to try to win this.
Yeah, well,
solo.
because I felt like it was, I wasn't doing it to then I wasn't doing the competitive savage thing. Then I was doing it to help them because it's like this is how they're going to learn. If I just go easy and let them win all the time, they're not actually I'm not helping them, right?
Yeah.
But I wouldn't play like really, really as intensely as with like adults. But with my kid, I'm like, that'll be an interesting thing to.
But also, I
back to.
don't know how it goes from playing on a screen to a real chess set because I think there's a difference, like on what you can see.
Mhm.
I think it's easier to see it on a screen.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Though I think I take more time in person. I'm probably going to examine a bit more. Like when I have been like, wait a second, okay, hold on, because I think I know I don't see everything yet.
Yeah.
So I'll see.
We should do among our many, many events that we're going to be clearly be doing.
A chess tournament.
Add a Black and a Half sponsored chess
Tournament, yeah.
or there's something funny in there and just fun.
But what I like about what Duolingo does is it's a bunch of it teaches you how to do things in like chess lessons,
Mhm.
like puzzles basically.
Oh,
Like
that's
here's
nice.
a puzzle, how to get like it teaches you what a thing is and how to do that in situations. And I think it's just kind of teaching you sort of to notice when a situation arises.
Yeah.
And now I have noticed a couple times that I was like, oh wait, if they don't move that, then I'm gonna have this thing happen.
Mhm.
So I'm prepared now because it does you do learn. It does teach
Yeah.
you. It's not just playing alone. Playing is probably the best way. But it's like skill study,
Mhm.
like working on the specific skill a little bit and then putting into practice in practice games is
But then you
important.
could like go to some of these meetups too. Well, I don't know how often they're going on, but when I was looking for a meetup a couple of weeks ago, I saw there was one that was like a chess meetup.
Oh,
And I was like,
I'd
oh,
be so intimidated there. I'm like, you're all gonna be smarter than me.
nah.
You're gonna get my butt kicked in 3 seconds.
uh,
And then I go, oh, I'm really bad at chess, but I'm good at selling houses. Hey. I only lost to you so that you would use me. I'm going to whoop you. Play for a house. Well, that's what you do. You get really good and then you like act low like, okay, well, let's put a wager on this. How about you let me list your house if
yeah, right.
I beat you? And then you're like, boom, 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 boom. Oh, did I beat you? Sorry.
Oh, did little
Oh.
old me do that? Oh,
Oh,
oh no.
oh. Yeah, I love games. I'm such a big, like any game, I just love playing.
See, it's so nice to like, yeah, games are good times.
And it's so like, I hate it when I it's been the hardest part in my relationships have been I just generally have relationships with people that don't want to play long games.
Like, what kind of game is a long game? And actually, one other thing, real quick, before I forgot, I want to say, I don't know. Sometimes though, I don't have patience for listening to the rules of the game, and I think it's probably the way that I learn. Like when people are just, you're reading off the whole thing. It's like it's more helpful if I see them say, "This is how you do this. This is how you do
Yeah.
that." Like listening to the whole thing, it's sometimes like,
I can see that.
yeah.
I mean, well, I
game.
like a risk type game, a
Never
good
played that.
a 2 to 3 hour game. That's good. But also I do like I could do a board game every night if like I could do that if I had a gaming partner. Or at least every weekend. I'd love to do game nights. My kids, it's hard because I want them. I just know they're not developmentally there yet to play some games, and I hate Candyland. Like, oh my god, some of these games are so.
The
they bring me
diabetes coma
rage.
game.
Huh?
The diabetes coma game.
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that? It's just like a candy.
Yeah, it's just candy.
You could do improv games with them. It's not the same as a board game. I know it's not the same as a board game.
And then some seem complicated, and then it's the sensitivity about losing. And I'm like, I lost all the time. I don't get why they are so sensitive about losing things. I'm not even trying.
Well,
but then they're happy when they win accidentally. You know, that's what they like about Candyland and stuff.
Yeah. Well,
because anybody can win.
Everybody wants to have a win.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm so bad at Cards Against Humanity. I do like a lot of different types of games. I often like word games, though, I think, or solving some sort of clues. I do enjoy Clue as well. But even Clue sometimes creeps me out. It's so ridiculous. Just imagining, like, especially if you're playing late at night and it's like, oh, they had the candlestick. Oh, no, which one's the killer? Like, how? It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
What was it? I just heard somebody talk about that, how they think there should be an age limit on. They think there should be an age limit on the presidency because they were playing Risk against their dad or their grandfather, and how one of them just suddenly decided to attack Asia with all their troops. It's like, what are you doing? He's like, it's late, I want to go to bed. And you're like, oh yeah, sometimes they just want to be over with this.
I could kind of see that, though, but I don't know. I've never played Risk. Who knows? I'm kind of curious now.
That's good. I'm gonna invite you to this.
Is it a Risk game?
No. I'm gonna invite you to
Duolingo, chess.
I'm seeing if it's possible.
Oh, that's so cool.
I'm discovering all these people that are.
That's so.
It's funny who shows up on my.
I don't know if I would have gone to the chess meetup that I saw, though. It was like, probably like just all guys 10 years older than me or something. And I'm just thinking, I don't think I'm going to show up to this.
Kate, I find this fascinating. Right now, there's somebody. I hit contacts, right, and it shows your contacts where they're from. In my phone is a girl named Katie. And it says Puyallup swing dancer.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, so that's some girl in Puyallup that I met at the same time I met Gretchen. Swing dancing. I'm like, who? I don't remember who this is.
You're lucky you're a real estate agent. Otherwise, you would need to delete that immediately. In fact, go ahead and delete that immediately. I'm kidding. I know.
But I'm like, the thing is, if I type in Katie swing dancer, I don't even see. They don't show up in my contacts, so I don't understand.
Mm.
Oh, unless I'm like.
Oh, you know what? Oh, sorry.
I'll say the thing I think about sometimes when I was back when I was single, like how many things could have gone, the sliding door moments, right? Of, oh, well, if I had decided to try over here or try over there, like what could have happened? Sometimes it's just in that I might have never met Gretchen if I had done the wrong thing. Right?
Well, but in sliding doors, they do meet each other either way.
Oh, that's true. Isn't that like a point of it or something? But they went through a rough life in one way. Like it all
in one way it did, and I think that was the way in which sometimes it's better. I think that was the version where it's like sometimes better to wait and go through something tough than to like have more instant gratification and then it ends tragically. Actually, I ought to rewatch the movie. It's been a long time. Also, Scottish accent in that movie, right? That her love interest in it.
Oh, is that a Scottish guy? Wait,
I think so.
the new love interest, not the one that breaks.
Oh no, the good one, not the jerk.
The jerk face.
Yeah,
the
not
jerk face monster.
not the jack face monster. That was not that accent. I wasn't trying though. Don't worry, I was not trying.
I gotta post this video. It just part of me is like a little stupid. It's stupid, but
Right.
Willow wanted me to do a commercial,
Yeah.
and so I was like, so I was just talking to the camera. She's like, "Dude, Dad, do the commercial," and then I'm like, and then at one point she said, "Use your normal voice," and I just started doing a bad, like, "Hello, my name is Silas, and it's I'm a real estate agent, buy a house," and she's like, "No," and it's really funny to me, but I don't know if other people find it.
To hear her
funny
in the background, like you
well,
hear her for it.
I keep turning it back to her. Like, what was that right? Was that right?
Oh, I think that's funny.
So, yeah, I might post it, but I was like, sometimes I don't want to be I always worry about being the super obvious guy trying to get attention. But then I'm also a super obvious guy who wants attention. So
yeah, I was like, I feel like that ship has sailed. I think everybody who knows you is, as you told me, Samantha, people love you even because of your imperfections. Like, I think.
But I'm like, I don't want to be I was like, it's like I don't want to be salesy, but this is really funny.
It is funny, but also some of the stuff is salesy. Like like you put up your flyer, like your postcards, they're salesy, but they're funny.
Yeah.
It can be an and sort of situation. It doesn't have to be a just one thing. And
that's a good point.
Yeah, and I think that's a delightful look into your life, and your daughter is adorable. For me, I just am very careful about sharing anything about my kid's face on the internet.
Yeah.
Because of
things
crazy world we live in. But but sometimes, obviously I can't resist myself and a picture goes up.
I will say, I don't know. You saw my Oreo thing that I did?
Yeah. Oh, but also like typically women tend to be more careful than the dads are with that sort of stuff. Yeah.
But you saw the Oreo
yeah, that's
thing.
what I'm saying. The Oreo. Yeah. On your face. Yeah. Yeah.
So
it was funny.
I mean, that was clear. Okay. So I had this moment of like, I was like, that's kind of fun. I kind of want an Oreo. I was actually hungry. So I was like, I want the Oreo.
Oh, where's your cup of milk?
Because we hadn't eaten.
I
didn't get to eat. And I'm like, I'm kind of hungry. And then like what got me to decide to try it was like, oh, this would be good content, wouldn't it? Okay, let me go. And I was like, record me. Okay.
Oh, you asked them to record you? Because
my friend was there.
I was wondering.
So I asked him. I said, record me and send it.
Oh, good.
And so I went to do it, and then I'm like, okay.
And I was waiting too. I was like, is it going to work?
I did it a second time, and I failed again.
Like, sucked into being like, is it going to work?
I tried it twice, and it didn't work. But the next person after me was started using my eyebrow technique. Like apparently I was the first one in the time to come up with that idea of just being subtle. I was like, okay, I think I got this. I don't know. I thought I was gonna get it too, and then it got stuck on my eye, and I didn't know. I was like, uh-oh, I'm trapped. In case you haven't seen, you go to any of my socials, and you'll find me trying to eat. The challenge is you put an Oreo you sit down in a chair, you put an Oreo on your forehead, and need to get it into your mouth without touching your hands. And that's the challenge. And somebody, Jose Bolaños from the morning show, he said he's done it before. Or he's done the challenge before, and it's so hard. And I was like, I had never heard of this before. I was like, what? This is crazy.
So funny. Oh my gosh.
It was really fun. But it did push me over to go, this would be good content.
Oh, definitely.
So let me go do this.
Excuse me.
Or potential. But then I realized how my belly stuck out while I was doing it, and so then I started eating better the next day. So it reminded me of what got me to lose the big amount of weight a few years ago was a picture my friend Joseph Greenhour took of me at playing poker, and he like put that up, or I saw it, and I was like, holy crap, that's me. And it got me to change my whole thing. I was like, I'm done. Next day I started.
Oh man.
I always have to have one thing that pushes me over the edge.
Oh,
and that video might have done it for me.
It can be very humbling to see oneself and then see like, that's not how I imagine myself.
Well, it's always just funny to see you see so many pictures and you see yourself in things all the time. And then for some reason, one angle just goes, oh no. Because because you're usually trying to make yourself look good in some way. Feel like dancing.
Dancing. Okay, I know that we're pretty much at time, but one thing I really wanted to say, I took some notes listening to his interview.
Yeah.
I wasn't just listening to the voice. But but I didn't realize that the national animal is a unicorn. I was like, that is really fun.
I put that in my newsletter last month. Yeah. I thought that was hilarious that he brought that up. I was like, what?
Yeah, that's so cool.
Maybe he's a reader. I don't
know. And then that our eyes filter out most of what we can't see, or something like that. That basically, like, there's so much going on in the world, on Earth, like the cosmos, whatever. There's so many things that we cannot see, and that our eyes are so focused on what we can see, it's easy to forget what we can't see.
Right. Well, I got the idea that, like, because there's light, there's just colors that we cannot see that exist.
Yeah.
There's different light, infrared, there's different frames
so
that you cannot.
That we can't see.
Right.
Yeah. And there's something that I heard in, oh goodness, I forget where I heard this. Probably some other, podcast or, goodness, I don't know, book or whatever. But that so much of life actually happens in the invisible world. But almost all of our focus is on the visible one. And I sat and marinated with that one for a while. And that comment that he had reminded me of that. I think it's good to remember that every now and again. Actually, daily, I think it's good to remember that. I mean, you want to be based. Yeah. You want to be based in reality. Like, there's obviously reality, but there's a lot of stuff that, like, we can't see.
Yeah. Well, and I've wondered that about ghosts and such, is that they're just in a plane that we can't see.
Oh gosh. I guess I wasn't thinking about ghosts. I suppose I was more thinking about, like, energy and, like, spirituality and stuff that.
Same thing.
Energy. Yeah, I guess, but getting me to talk about a ghost is a tricky subject. Yeah.
Well, and also, like, I was trying to explain to I was explaining to the older daughter, because she can get it a little bit more, how we actually see everything upside down. Like, the way our eyes work, we actually see everything upside down.
Once before.
But then our body, it's not that we're upside down. It's just that the way we see everything is upside down.
Is that you?
But that your brain flips it to make it make sense. Your brain actually flips the image you see to make it make sense. Have you heard that before?
I mean, not the brain flips it to make it make sense. I just figured it was like the way that, that the light waves or whatever go so that it makes it that way. But
no, like, the way it inputs into your brain is upside down.
Upside down, that doesn't.
Because it's the same thing as when you take a picture. When you take a picture with the camera, the picture that's made, it inverts, and then it has to be re-put. It has to go back into its original way.
I mean, I won't argue with any science behind it. But if I'm right here and my bottle is right here and I could feel the top of my bottle.
Yeah, it's the top.
Yeah.
That's it's not that it's upside down.
But then we both would be upside down.
We are all up. We're not actually upside down. It's just that what we actually see is upside down, but our brain corrects it. Our brain constantly fills in information that we don't have, that we didn't see.
Yeah.
And that one of the pieces, it fixes things that we can't. Do you know, like,
you know what? So that's a horror movie too, right there. Maybe it's like, right? if one person, their brain stopped doing that.
Oh, well, no, that happens. That's why we know. That's one of the reasons we know. Like, it actually happens to people.
Was that in
it's a brain injury.
Something?
What? How? Huh?
Oh, I said, was that an inception?
But when you get a brain injury, that's one of the things that can happen. It disconnects it, so it doesn't.
Oh,
You don't get it. If you like, there's people that you get a tumor right in your head somewhere, in your like that you can't see, like a spot where there's damage that you get on your eye, you have a blank spot in the middle of your vision. After so many years, it disappears. It doesn't actually disappear, but your brain starts compensating for it and starts filling it in with the missing info.
yeah.
That's why you're sometimes wrong about what shirt was somebody wearing. You don't remember. You're just looking and your brain filled in what color it should be. It's crazy. Our brain is so powerful.
Yes, it is.
Anyhow, yes, you're right. We're about out of time here. So
Yeah, very powerful.
It's great to nice. It's so great and nice to have an interview. As I said, Paul, with Paul Boyd. Thanks for coming on the show, Paul. We're available anytime you need actors.
Yes, yes. Oh, and we're comedians, so we can
script punch ups, whatever.
Help to do that. Westerns, yes, absolutely.
Hire us, please. Anyway, hey, thanks, thank you for tuning in. Black and a Half.
Black and a Half.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to the longest running comedy podcast in Seattle, probably. Yes, this is Black and a Half, hosted by Silas Lindenstein and Samantha Rund. Black and a Half!